Oh,
we lost him. We're live.
Well, we are live. I think we are live. Oh no, he's still there.
Here I am. I don't know what happened. Did our intro play?
Hey, it did. It did.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, well, welcome into Gathering Paracast, everyone. We are having, it's Mercury retrograde, and we are having a few difficulties tonight.
Yes, we are.
But I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Heidi.
And we are together at the studio. We haven't been actually in the same space for the show for a while, so this is fun. So I guess we deserve all we're getting tonight.
Probably.
We are at practice.
Retrograde.
Oh my gosh! And how are you? How are you, Jason?
Excellent, not too bad. We got the Pleasantville Festival finally under our belt and all taken care of, and it was really successful. And so I'm looking forward to getting back in the saddle with doing some cryptid stuff.
Good. Yeah, it's still super hot here in Minnesota and buggy, so it'll be a while before the chicks are in the woods, but soon.
We're not too bad here. It's pretty mild and nice, actually. It was fantastic for the festival.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so a lot of the festivals are just ramping up now, but the Bigfoot Days here was just a couple of weeks ago, and so met with a bunch of the researchers that I've known for 1,000 years, and Alan is actually going to be on the show next week, so tune in for him because he is really cool. I hadn't seen him for a long time, and he was up there, and he just has a really cool subject to talk about. So was all good. So we're back.
Yes.
So Paranormal Smorgasbord, guys.
Here we are.
Yes, here we are.
A couple of interesting things to talk about tonight, too.
Yes.
In the paranormal world, some big movement happening. With should we talk about that first? I think we should.
I think so.
Yes.
Warren's house and a cult museum was sold to Matt Rife and what's the other guy?
I don't have the other guy's name,
I
but
can't remember.
somebody he's in cahoots with.
Yeah,
and
two guys bought it, and what I was reading about this is that they're going to. So they bought the house, and I don't know if that includes the structure that the museum is in, but they have leased the haunted items. They do not own them. They have they're leasing them for 5 years. And then I'm sure that'll be looked at. So continue that, or if they're allowed to continue that, or if they want to change hands and give it to someone else, or I don't know how that's going to work. But interesting. And it sounds like they're going to open it up to paranormal investigations.
Yeah, I don't know how good that is, but
That's interesting. And the other person is YouTuber Elton Casty.
That's right.
Who I'm not real. I know Matt Rife a little bit. I've seen some of his stuff on the old Twitter on X, but I'm not real familiar with the other. But man, that sure seems like you've taken some gambles, especially after the recent unfortunate. Turn in Annabelle's story. And me personally, I can't really dismiss that the doll had anything to do with it. I mean,
right.
I want to respect the family and not, but at the same time, like, I personally, before that, I would have been very leery, but, I won't go anywhere near that thing.
Yeah, I think with how protective Ed and Lorraine were around this doll, you think that, well, I guess you don't. Thinking is
we don't know. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, some of it might have been showmanship and such, but at the same time, like, they took a lot of precautions. And then I found the news reports interesting because they said, oh, well, the doll wasn't in the room, the coroner said. And I find that curious. If I had a chance to ask the coroner, I'd be like, well, what else wasn't in the room? What else are we saying wasn't in the room? She was locked safely away in a trailer in the parking lot.
Maybe that's why
I'm assuming that's what the case was, because they had a bunch of things on the tour, right?
Yeah, they did. It was like a haunted tour or something.
Yeah, so I would assume that stuff was all locked up somewhere, but just the fact that he's one of the main people that's interacting with this doll.
Yeah.
while it's being moved around, I thought was, interesting that, and you just so happen to, pass away. I mean, I think that's an interesting coincidence. I don't know if it's a coincidence. So I'd be careful.
It would make me awful leery.
Too.
Yeah.
And I also read another story about how many well-known paranormal investigators are saying that the Annabelle doll should be destroyed because she's too dangerous. So it didn't name names. So who knows if it was all made up or whatever, but I
can't see that happening though.
No.
I mean, I can't see that they would destroy a doll that could probably bring in a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And could it be destroyed? I mean, really, if you look at it, because there's some, like when I get Ouija boards sent, which just is, saying that, let's say Annabelle is incredibly haunted, which I'm assuming that she is because of everything that's said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on a smaller level, I get these Ouija boards sent to me, and some of them you can't destroy. Like it's not going to work to destroy it. Even if you close it and bind it and seal it and everything, it's not going to work to destroy it. So it could be that they've worked with this doll enough when they were alive that they're like, it's not going to work to destroy it. And it might actually make things worse to destroy it because you don't have a tangible thing now to manage. You don't have something that you can make sure, like whatever is moving through this object, if it wants to go through this item as a portal or a doorway, to take the doorway away and make it disappear, does that let it through however it wants? And now you can't like wrangle it to get it to keep it kind of intact.
Right.
So I wonder if that's why they kept the doll instead of destroying it, because you think that they would have known best what to do with it.
That's true.
That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective. Yeah. At least in that form, you can manage it.
Right.
Exactly.
Interesting and scary.
Interesting and scary at the same time. And I don't know, paranormal investigations. I mean, I guess if they were by credible people, it would be okay, maybe. But just
it sounds like it's going to be anybody.
Anybody.
Stay there.
Yeah, could just go and do it, and who knows what would happen. I would hope they have somebody there with them, but how do I know?
Right. I mean, like that's just. Well, I guess we'll watch and see.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening and how they run it. I mean, there's been with quite a few paranormal investigations lately. There's been a big uproar in how they're being run and. What you have access to, what you can do, what you can't do, how much is being charged to get into some of these locations, that people are getting really upset that a lot of this has become like they're getting priced out, right? And it isn't, you really have to put some serious money forward to stay in some of these places that aren't very big, because they've got some, movie, recognition behind them that this is something you can charge a lot of money for. And so it'll be interesting to see what they do with this house because of the history of the house and who owned it. And
because it looks like just a crappy house now. I mean, I've seen the pictures, but but maybe, one can be hopeful. Like, when they opened up Waverly Hills, they did a lot of renovations on that. I mean, it's still the same building, but they had to make it safe for people to go in there. They had to do all the things, and that's expensive. And I wish our own No Pemming sanatorium, they would have done the same thing, but they didn't. And so now it's just rotting away up there, and nobody can go in there anymore. Fire department has shut it down, which is sad because I felt it was very active when I was there, and I know we were there at different times of the year. When I was there, because the roof had leaked and it was like a skating rink and it's this ginormous building. I mean, it is, I think, twice the size of Waverly Hills. I mean, it's big. And some of the floors were like, I should wear skates. When you were there, it was deep summer, and it was the mold was there, and all the things that come with the warm weather. Asbestos was coming out.
It was
so even though we were there and it was super cold, we didn't deal with any of those things. Just could have fallen and broken our heads, because it was so icy. But I wish they would have done that.
I don't know what they would need to do with Warren's house, because it's small. I mean,
it's small,
smaller,
right?
I mean, I don't know how big it is, but
I
don't know what kind of repair they're going to need to do. I mean, I'm sure there'll be just general upkeep, but you just hope that they make it safe
Yeah.
in all the ways if they're going to open up for investigations, because there's a reason the Warrens didn't.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason that they didn't open that up just for the general population to go and hang out and spend the night, or he said the weekend, you could spend the weekend. And so there's a whole bunch of reasons.
I don't think I would want to.
Yeah. I'll bet you the podcast industry is probably just, there's a lot of people like fiercely looking for content that have a lot of money on the line, you know, and you know, fortunately for us, we've never made a dime, so there's nothing on the line for us.
That's right. That's right. I don't know. I think we must be doing something wrong, because same with our, you know, cryptid groups and stuff. You know, we pay all this money to do what we do, but you know, yeah. We're doing it wrong, obviously. Maybe we need to get on TikTok like everybody else and monetize it, or whatever they call it.
I've never messed with TikTok myself, honestly.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. Other than everybody seems to be on it.
There's a pretty strong paranormal community on the old Twitter, on X, and especially around the UFO stuff. There's a lot of scammy stuff in there too, but it's kind of vibrant in there. A lot of times when I'm looking for what's going on in our world, that's where I'm heading.
Twitter. Well,
yeah.
I remember back in the day, I used to be on there quite a bit too with Squatchers and Sim and stuff, but I haven't been on there for a long time now. I mean, I still have the accounts, but maybe the Gathering needs to open up a page on Twitter.
That's a possibility. And you can, it used to be that you couldn't run long form videos, but you can run long form videos now on Twitter. And especially if you pay to have their verification and stuff. I was doing that for a little bit with the Cryptovania TV. There is a Cryptovania Twitter that I've had for a long time, actually. And it's actually followed by some interesting people. I've always been very proud of it. But yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Maybe we need to think about that a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's kind of, because it seemed to, like, politics got real heavy on there for a while, and it kind of killed a lot of the fun stuff. And that seems to be, I mean, there's still a lot of that on there, but they've made it so that you can insulate yourself from that pretty easily. And so it's kind of nice. I can actually go on there and really get into a feed that's just UFO and Bigfoot and stuff, you know. I've curated it, but at the same time, it's sitting there right there for me. And you know, and I do my politics, and I do that elsewhere, but I use that just so that I can. And it seems like the UFO community, especially, there's a lot of cool stuff on there.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out again, because I haven't been on there for a while.
Yeah. A lot of AI stuff too. A lot of interesting AI stuff. Because those guys, it's kind of they're into that open source stuff that the AI creators and such. And that's kind of encouraged there. It's a pretty thriving community.
Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Yeah, and I've seen a few things about Bigfoot. Nothing really that we need to talk about, and I did see a story on somebody thought they saw the Loch Ness monster, but I looked at the video and I'm like, it could have been a bird out there. It didn't look like a head to me, but.
I seen a headline, but I was busy with the festival.
Like the 31st of July or something, but it didn't look like anything to me, anything. But so there's a lot of stuff going on. People are looking for this stuff, which is cool. And Bigfoot, there's, seems to be a lot of sightings of them suddenly in a lot of places. Nothing that I can see, but,
good for them to get out in the woods.
I think so too.
I wouldn't go out this time of year.
Oh, the bugs. But actually, we were out I don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday, on our cold case, and we walked through the woods, and it really wasn't bad, but it was in the middle of the day. And I was kind of surprised it wasn't buggier, and it wasn't like deep in the woods. It was just by the shoreline, But yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, but
You
we
were
know
gonna
better.
say something. Did you say there was a sturgeon moon coming up?
Yeah, on Friday. Yeah, and they talk about the big sturgeon up in the Great Lakes, but we have sturgeons right here in Minnesota. It's a prehistoric looking fish that have been traced back to around 136 million years ago. People call them living fossils. And
they are pretty
20 years before they can have babies. But they do say that the name comes from the giant lake sturgeon of the Great Lakes and Lake Champlain, which is where we know Katie Elizabeth is looking for Champ.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
And often they're kind of used as a way to, as a like saying that things are sturgeon. They're a lot of times are used as something that maybe your Kinzu Nessie might be sturgeon hitting the surface and stuff. And so a lot of times I think that sturgeons are used as a foil basically against, or a ballast against some people's sightings. Oh, maybe that's just a sturgeon, and probably some of them are, because that's a weird looking creature.
They are. They're very strange. And of course in different places, like it's also known as the corn moon and the harvest moon and the rising moon. The Anishinaabe, or Ojibwe here, that's what they call it. But so it's a lot of things, but it's supposed to be especially amazing this year for astrological reasons, and I'm not sure why that is. But yes, Jerry, we can see your questions, and you're talking about. He agrees. No pemming is disgusting. I don't know. I thought it was really cool.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Heidi, how do you think a doll could get to the point of hurting a person?
Well, I think with enough energy, so it depends on what is coming through this item. So it doesn't even matter what the item is.
Yeah.
It could be anything. It's just the power and the intelligence behind whatever is using that item to come through into this plane of existence. So is it possible? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it common? Definitely not. So it would have to be some kind of being that is extremely powerful, probably has a lot of, has been around for a long time, and is extremely intelligent. The thing is, you gotta wonder, like, why this doll? Why a regular old, why not
Raggedy Ann? Yeah.
Why did it, like, I guess we don't know, it came to a couple of girls, right?
It came to somebody in college. Their mom gave it to them, right? As they're leaving the house gift or whatever. And then all these things started going on. And so then they got a hold of Edwin Moran.
Well, you wonder what the girl, like, and I'm not trying to blame anybody. I'm not saying the girls did something, but maybe their friends were messed around with something, some kind of divination. Because stuff just doesn't pop up being haunted and possessed. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
No.
So something had to happen. If that doll is haunted, which it seems like it is, to the degree that it can hurt people, something had to have happened that made that so connected. It doesn't just happen on its own. No. Something doesn't just pick a random doll and hopes that it gets to something that it can do damage to. No. Someone did something. And I'm not saying it was the girls. It could have been their roommates. It could have been friends when they were out.
Could have been where, I don't know if she bought it new or if she bought it at a thrift store. Right. I mean, who knows? I mean, there could be many reasons.
Maybe it was at a garage sale because it was causing crazy things happen, But somewhere along the line, something happened that made that doll connected to something else. And it has to be something that's really strong and really intelligent. Yeah. Because I have a small collection of haunted items. And here, hang on.
Thank you.
Sorry, we just gotta
Restart
the computer.
No, we're not going to restart.
But there has to be something else that brings this through to this item. I mean, like I was saying, I have a bunch of haunted items myself, and most of them have some kind of history that something was done or an intention was set somewhere that creates the connection to this item. It's not just an accident. It's not just proof it was designed that, like it was born that way or whatever.
Right.
So anyway, I want to answer.
And I think on that particular story too, it's an easy one for people to relate to, because so many of us had those dolls as kids.
Right.
I remember having a Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy doll set as a kid. And so there's something so familiar about that. I think it was. I think if you look into those dolls themselves, I think they were one of the first like mass marketed, and produced, dolls of the era. And so it's really easy for it to. It has that sense of familiarity for so many of us. Not that I ever had any problems with my dolls.
Me either. Well, I only ever had one, but So Jerry's also asking, could a person, be it a boy or a girl, who was severely mistreated in life, possess a doll after they have passed? Yeah, I would think so.
Yes, because I have one.
Yeah.
I have a doll that the woman had when she was young, and she was in a really tough situation. She lived a hard life, and she didn't have a lot. She had this doll, and it meant a lot to her. And now I have it. I found it at an antique store, and she'll come through. If you connect with the doll, talk to the doll. Like, why would you talk to a doll? Well, people do.
Yeah.
And I did, because I just felt like if you talk to her, she's going to come. This former owner is going to come through. And I did, and that was the doll that I found like 6 feet on the other side of the room when I came in the next day. And
one that you told us not to touch because she was there for that seance we did with Wendy Webb.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So
don't touch her.
I said don't, and I'm like, don't talk to her.
I'm like,
don't touch her, don't acknowledge her, because you'll instantly like connect to the former owner.
Yeah.
And then she'll be able to do things in here. It's like she uses it as a portal to come through. So absolutely it can happen.
Yeah.
And again, it's super rare.
Yeah.
Think of all the millions or billions of dolls that are out there.
Yeah.
And how many are possessed? Not many.
No.
Thank goodness.
Yes, thank goodness.
Yeah, that's a scary and familiar one.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, people, watch for the full moon on Friday. The full sturgeon moon, corn moon, rice moon, whatever you want to call it. It's supposed to be spectacular. And the Perseus. How am I saying that wrong? I've been watching this meteor shower my whole life, and I can't say it now. But that happens too. But because the full moon will be so bright, they're saying you might not be able to see the meteors very well.
But that's a time frame.
Perseus.
One night.
Right.
I mean,
it's the whole time. Yes, because it's the cycle.
So you'll have some time to see it if you haven't already. But also, Mercury retrograde almost over.
Thank God. Thank God. Oh my God. That's the real reason why we haven't been on the air.
But it just happened. It worked out well that we could take a break, and it was
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. But yeah, so next week Alan's going to be with us. We're going to talk about Bigfoot cryptids research and one particular subject. So I think it'll be super fun, and we can have him on again to talk because he has so much stuff. But that'll be next weekend. So I think it'll be super fun. So do you have anything else for tonight?
I'm looking forward to that.
Or Jerry or anybody?
No, I'm really looking forward to Alan.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun for sure. So, well, I think we'll just close out on this episode of The Gathering of Paracast. Yeah, because I'm looking at him.
That's awesome.
So we'll see
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.